ton
But
of
you
that
said that
shit.
meat has vitamin C, but so like my last question is, can you show me vitamin C?
Do you eat liver and like organs and stuff?
Yep, I do.
Not very
What
often.
law? Okay. Mostly like muscle meat.
Yeah, mainly.
Depends who you're asking.
I mean, I would say you're probably not getting enough vitamin C then, but I don't know your exact
You
diet,
you
so.
would you would say that, but see, it's interesting. You would say that, but you don't know me, you don't see me, you don't, right? It's just
Oh
it's
no,
just
no, no. I'm
something
just
that
speculating, yeah.
that yes, I'm saying though, because I don't eat certain things, you're probably saying that I don't get enough of whatever, right?
Yeah, yeah, just speculation off of like very brief description of your diet. I don't know
Yeah.
you.
Now let's exclude humans, okay? So what other animal has a diet similar to humans where we pile a whole bunch of different things on a plate and then consume it all at once and call it a meal?
And if I were to show you ascorbic acid, would you accept that as vitamin C?
No, acid is not vitamin C.
Ascorbic acid is vitamin C.
Okay, so you're saying that this acid is it's in oranges and in meat, and it's identical. It's the same thing, right? You can derive it the same way.
I'm not saying that now.
Okay, so then ascorbic acid is not vitamin C.
It is vitamin C.
No, because it's not in an orange or meat.
I didn't say it wasn't. I'm just saying. I just said that I'm not saying what you said I'm saying.
Yeah, how do you know to claim that it isn't in those things, right?
What do you mean that it isn't? Well, that's the thing. So someone claims that there's vitamin C in oranges and in meat, but when you look at oranges and meat, fundamentally they don't look at all the same. So how can they have the same things inside them?
They both have water. Water is similar between, right? There's a water content to both, but they don't look the same. So what's that? It doesn't seem like that means anything.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say that the orange and the meat have the same kind of quote unquote water as you're saying.
They can both be dehydrated. So that's good enough for me.
Well, just so you're saying that just because they can be dehydrated, now they have vitamin C.
No, I was
That is not
commenting
what
on
the
your they look different, so they can't have the same thing in them.
Yeah, I mean that's fundamental. It's like, looking at a man and a woman and then saying, "Oh, they're the same."
Okay, so let's go back to you were asking what animal eats like a human. I'm not super educated about this to be honest, but like let's say like a bear, for example. Bears eat lots of meat and vegetables, like kind of a smorgasbord of different stuff, right?
Well, they don't actually eat vegetables because vegetables aren't real. So the most that bears will eat, so they'll eat a lot of animals. Okay, so anyways, so what they'll
Show me a
do
Sorry,
is,
vegetable. You can't show me a
I thought
vegetable.
I was I thought I was
yeah,
muted,
you
so
can't. Yeah, so the bears, they'll eat the berries only to get fat.
There's no fat in berries. Show me a fat berry.
No, you're right. There's no fat in berries. However, the sugar in the berries, with enough, the sugar makes your body store fat. That's why we see so many fat people because they eat so many sweets.
Can you show me a sugar turn into a fat? Can you show it to me?
You can see people who eat lots of cake and sugary things and they get fat.
what about like never mind. I'm not touching this one.
Yeah, I mean, so can you show me a fat person who doesn't eat cake?
Man, I thought this was Earth's awakening, and y'all sitting there talking
It
about fat
is.
people and sugar.
Well, you know what? What you put in your mouth is part of your awakening.
I mean, to be
Yep.
honest,
Okay.
yeah, I know some
That's right.
diabetic people.
Yeah, we discuss a range
That's
of topics here. It's not specific to a single topic, so the floor
Yeah,
is
so
open.
so if you want to keep eating cereal and drinking beer and not hear about, the things that go in your mouth, that's okay. You can go somewhere else.
It's the issue is that sugar is
Glad
just
you got a hot
caloric,
stoplight.
and carbs are caloric. It doesn't matter that it's sugar. I mean, there's fat people that eat very little sugar and eat mostly fatty foods or high protein foods.
Yeah,
Really?
but
There's
how many
diabetic.
people
So
are dying
okay,
from fat diabetes?
let's
No,
do this.
I'm not.
Show me, hold
Yeah.
on. Show me a food that you can get in the grocery store that doesn't have sugar in it, not including fruits and vegetables, because people don't eat mainly fruits and vegetables. They mainly eat the stuff in the boxes.
Well, there's sugar in fruit and vegetables as well. There's sugar in
I
most
said I
things,
said
most
not
foods.
including those. I want you to find me a product that doesn't have sugar in it, a food, quote unquote food.
Okay, olive oil.
It's not food. People don't sit down and just eat olive oil.
Well,
I
I've
mean,
had my
if you
moments,
do, there's
but
something wrong with you.
well, there was a guy in here a
You're
couple
going
days
down the
ago
slide.
who drinks his own pee and shit. So there's lots of weird stuff
Well,
going
clearly there's
on. Let me
something
have
wrong
my
with him
olive
too.
oil.
Yeah.
Let me have my olive oil.
So how many times a day do you eat a bottle of olive oil?
Drink.
No, he's
Um,
he's considering it food, not a drink. So he's eating it.
is a drink? Okay, wait. So you count? You wouldn't count drinks either, or would you? I guess not, right?
Drinks aren't they're not food. No, that's not something you chew
Drinks
up.
aren't.
Right.
So is Jello a food?
Yeah, technically.
I
Gelatin
got some sugar.
is
I have
I,
some
I,
sugar-free.
I don't have
animal
to.
based,
I have
I
some,
don't
and you
have
don't
to.
have to put sugar in it.
I don't have to
I have
chew
some
bone
sugar-free
marrow.
Jello.
I don't have to chew bone marrow when I eat it. I can just slurp it. I consider that a food.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the stuff that
I
the
know what you're talking about.
majority of people will eat
I'm being
right from a
pedantic.
I've got
box.
It's all
Yeah,
good.
find me
I've got
something
some
that comes in a box with no sugar
sugar-free
in
Jello.
it.
Sugar-free Jello.
It
I have some sugar-free
is it
Jello
an
right now that I'm
alternative
eating.
sugar? Is it alternative sugar?
It has something that tastes sweet. That's not sugar, if that's what you mean.
Yeah, so that's actually even worse than the sugar.
Okay, well, you asked me to show you something that doesn't have sugar in it, so there you go. Sugar-free Jello.
And a sweetener. So I mean,
Okay, eggs. Do eggs probably have some sugar in it,
see,
huh?
see, this is the thing, right? The majority of the things that you get from a box in the store, you would never eat unless it has that little bit of sweetener in it.
Oh, what about my egg whites? I buy boxes of cartons of egg whites all the time and eat that.
Come on, dude. You know what he's
There's
trying
no
to say.
there's no sugar in that.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
really
most.
just avoiding.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I know. I agree with you. Most stuff in this store has sugar in it, but the
Yeah,
point
so that's the
remains.
reason. That's the reason most people are obese like they are. So going back to the bear who you claim to eat a varied diet, they don't. They eat primarily animals. Then when the winter comes around, they want to get fat, so they eat the berries.
But it's not the sugar that is making them fat. It's the high calorie foods that make them fat.
No, it is the sugar. The sugar causes something, I guess it's your pancreas or whatever, one of the organs in your body to release insulin to store fat.
yeah. It's definitely the pancreas.
I mean, you can't break the laws of thermodynamics. If you take in more calories than you're exuding, than you're burning off, you will gain weight. It doesn't matter if it was sugar, fat, oil, whatever.
I mean, I don't think so because I could force myself to eat like a side of a cow. It would be very difficult, but it would be more calories than I could possibly consume, and I would not gain any weight.
Well,
How
I
could you
don't
possibly
believe you.
know that you wouldn't unless you have tried it? Like that's
Nope,
just a
don't.
I
presumption.
mean,
Yeah.
well, that's the thing. So I have eaten a lot of meat in a day, and I don't gain weight.
Okay, so you're burning as many calories as you're consuming.
Well, see, in fact, so I used to be one of those obese cake eaters, okay? Then I discovered that if you stop eating cake, you lose weight real quick. So I actually still have like some fat a little fat around my abdomen, and actually, so primarily I eat meat and dairy. Now, when I cut out the dairy and I just eat nothing but meat, the fat on my stomach slowly but surely disappears, even though I'm eating meat all day long.
I mean, this is just demonstrably false, though. If you look at the fitness community, there's lots of keto bodybuilders who take in virtually no sugar. They go on bulks, they go on cuts, they gain weight, they lose weight. I have friends that do powerlifting. Some of them are keto. They gain weight all the time. So it's not just sugar, but
And as of my personal anecdote is the same thing, same change happened to my body when I stopped eating meat, and I'm allergic to dairy, and I have not voluntarily eaten meat in 17 years, and I'm allergic to milk and eggs. So I think it's the quality of the food, the knowledge to prepare it, and avoiding processed shit.
I like meat. I like to eat it. But I also like Brussels sprouts.
No, you
Do
don't.
you really?
With olive
Oh
oil.
my
Do
God, they're so good.
Yeah, so go eat a raw Brussels sprout. Just go start
Yeah.
chewing on
Well,
them. Tell me how good it is.
I have, but they're not good raw, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, exactly. They're not. You have to prepare them and put some kind of seasoning on them. Otherwise, they're disgusting as fuck. Which
Even,
most
even
vegetables
then, they're
are.
still disgusting.
I actually
You sound
like
like
Yeah,
a
you're right.
child.
Cabbage is good raw.
We got an
Cabbage is good
8-year-old
raw.
carnivore here.
I actually like them just boiled. I know I can understand that's disgusting to most people, but
So was someone saying cabbage is good raw?
Yeah, cabbage is good
So
raw.
so
yeah,
you go
Yeah,
Cabbage raw.
you go to the
Cauliflower.
grocer
I mean,
and the
nice coleslaw. Make your own dressing with
see,
olive oil.
Oh
of
yeah, the
course
dressing.
you have to add something to it to make it
I've eaten
tolerable.
it out of the garden. I've
Yeah,
eaten it out of the
Yeah, how
garden, but
often?
salt, vinegar, and black pepper will get you 90% of the way there.
but yeah, Brussels sprouts. Something about them. They just got a little bit bitter. They got a bite to them. That's why you gotta cook them and
Well,
then put
so
frickin'
Brussels
balsamic
sprouts.
on them.
Yeah,
Balsamic.
so I think it's Brussels sprouts, broccoli, kale. There's like three others too. They're all actually hybrids of the mustard plant.
Just three others. It's like 90% of the produce aisle is a mustard.
They also contain phytates and oxalates, which are a good cause of kidney stones. That's most dark leafy greens. That's oxalic acid and phytic acid.
It's really funny. So Popeye, right? Popeye used to eat spinach to get strong, and then the character named Wimpy ate hamburgers.
Yeah, Popeye also had lots of kidney stones.
Yeah, he must have. Actually, did
Or maybe he
it
drank
show that he
lots of water
did?
and kept well hydrated.
Scurvy would explain his weird anatomy too. So
So everything makes sense now.
so do you eat raw meat, or do you cook it all?
I do. If you're asking
Oh
me.
yeah, I eat raw. I don't. I
I guess
actually
yeah.
don't eat any. I eat no cooked meat.
Why don't you eat more organs? I feel like
I do.
no brainer. Yeah, Globus. I know you do. I was asking. Yeah, I was wondering about what law. I feel like it's kind of a no brainer because you know how nutrient dense they are.
Well, see, that's the thing, right? So you say you know how nutrient dense they are, right? But earlier I asked you to show me a vitamin C, and it couldn't be done. So there's a whole lot of people saying certain things about certain things that we eat, but it's like, nah, I take that shit with a grain of salt, basically.
I said I could show you.
Literally.
Vitamin C.
but not literal salt. No, not too much literal salt.
I
Just
mean,
one
can you
grain.
show
Yeah,
me
not
a sugar?
literally.
Can you
I
show
can
me an insulin?
I can show people ascorbic acid. That is vitamin C. Like it's no. I mean,
I bet he could show you a pancreas.
as far as I know,
Oh,
that's vitamin C.
What law? Can you show me an insulin? You're saying insulin is deployed to convert sugar into fat, right? So can you show me an insulin?
Well, so this is the process that we're told happens within the body, right? I don't actually know exactly what happens. I'm just relaying information that I've heard. But it seems as though if you eat certain things, your body does something and you get fat. So it seems to correlate with the idea that when you eat a certain thing, your body does something and then it stores the fat.
Yeah, and it seems like when people don't eat vitamin C, they get scurvy.
I mean, I haven't had quote unquote vitamin C, from any source that most people would think. I know some people say it comes from meat, but what's a vitamin C, right? So I don't actually go out and get vitamin C, but I don't have scurvy.
You're just one data point. You might be lucky, but historically,
So I'm
on a
somehow
large scale,
somehow different than all the other humans.
no, everybody's slightly different. Everybody has slightly different
No,
physiology.
no, everybody's the same. That's why when everyone goes to the hospital, they do the same exact thing to everyone.
Why can you grow a beard, but some people can't grow beards?
Too much soy.
Okay, well, so
If you can't grow a
things in
beard,
our
it's probably because you're eating too much soy.
I
why
think
do why do some people have blue eyes and some people have brown eyes? And that
That's
does
just the way
change
we're
what
designed.
Why
and
do
that
some
does
I
people
mean,
change
have
so
optometry.
childhood diabetes and some are born without it? Like, how far do you want to take
because
this?
their mother had cake.
Well, okay,
Bullshit.
let's go back.
You can't
Let's
know
go
that.
back to the let's go back to the eye thing.
Look,
Some people have
wait,
brown
hold
eyes and
on,
some
hold
people
on.
have
Can you
blue
show
eyes.
me? Wait, can you show me a child with diabetes where the mother doesn't have diabetes? Now the eyes, blue eyes and green eyes and different eye colors. That's just the eyes. That doesn't indicate that the insides are different.
But it does change optometry. It does change certain things that the way your eyes
but
react to light,
what
for
he's trying
No,
to
example.
say is
no,
that what he's trying
because
to say is that the dietary requirements are different because of eye color, because of not being able to grow a beard. That's
No,
the
no.
key
He
premise.
said if you go to the hospital, we do the exact same thing to everybody. That's
Well,
not true. If you have
I
blue eyes, you do something slightly different than if you have brown eyes.
no, they don't. So we're going to go to the optometrist, right? So when you go to the optometrist, he doesn't say, "Oh, you have different color eyes. Let me get my special tools to see your eyes." Because the brown eye people, they use this other tool.
No, they use different. They use different lights,
No,
different amount of
they
light because
don't.
people with blue eyes are more sensitive to light than people with brown eyes.
Yeah, this is
They,
coming into the
no, the
weeds.
only.
I summarized your point pretty well there, didn't I, Arian?
I'm sorry. What did you say it again?
Well, I said that essentially what you're saying in a nutshell is that regardless of how people look on the exterior, their dietary requirements, nutritional requirements are all the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. Easy done.
And all
Yeah. So just
congenital
because you look,
diseases and
what
sorry, go ahead. You
congenital
go ahead.
diseases?
You go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I'm just saying, I'm just clarifying. You would say like all congenital conditions are deviations from like a perfect norm that we would naturally be like. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah. So, I mean, you can take something real simple that shows its effect really quick on people. So just take a look at alcohol and see how quickly it degrades their mental capacity. So just imagine over time, right, the alcohol consumption is going to slowly but surely degrade their mental functions over time permanently because alcohol actually dissolves fat and your brain is primarily fat. So you can also see it on people's faces, right? Do you know someone who has a glass of wine a day? I guarantee you, if you look at their face, it's sagging because they don't have any fat on it anymore.
Okay. What about like lactose intolerance? I mean, originally people were all lactose intolerant. Some people deviated to
No.
being not
So
lactose intolerant.
actually, the only thing that people are lactose intolerant to is the stuff that's in the store. The pasteurized milk is not tolerable for human consumption because it's gone beyond its natural state. So because what they do is when they pasteurize it, they actually separate it. They like compress part of it, they heat part of it, and then they combine it back together. So in its completed like form, the pasteurized milk from the grocery store is unnatural. It will cause issues. But
Wait,
if you
but
get the
you go ahead, sorry.
if you get milk straight from a farm, like raw milk, especially Jersey cow, there actually seems to be a thing like a difference between milks that the cows produce. So there's like all kinds of different cows, but like Jersey cow is supposedly supposed to be called A2 or something, which is supposed to be easier for humans to assimilate or something. So when you consume the raw milks, you do not have the same issues that you get when you eat the pasteurized milk or consume.
I think you'd be hard pressed to call a dairy cow natural, though. Like they've been bred for millennia, and that the original wild animal that they started as doesn't exist anymore.
Well, that's assuming that you can actually change a species, and you can't. Because if you were to go along those lines, then human beings should be completely different than from even 100 years ago, because we intermingle and intermate all day long.
We
So I mean,
are.
black people, white
We
people,
are. We're
Chinese
taller.
people, right? No, but we don't look any different. We're still the
We're
same,
taller.
right? Outside we
We're
look
taller.
different, but we're going back to the cow. The cow is essentially the same still, just like the humans are essentially the same. We
No,
don't
not at all. It's
our
really not.
right.
Just that would
Right.
be
The
akin to
milk.
saying that Brussels sprouts are the same as mustard, and clearly they aren't. They are offshoots of, and they were selectively bred in by
Yeah, but
communities, by
the difference
people,
is
guided selection.
yeah, but the difference between the plants and the humans is that so the plants, they're not actually being crossbred in a way that you can actually breed, because what they're doing is they're taking cuttings. So they take a cutting of a plant, and then they cut a notch in another plant, and then they basically tape or glue that plant onto the other plant. Then the offshoot creates something completely different. With human beings, you can't do that. You can't put a Chinese, I guess maybe you can put a Chinese arm on a white man's arm, but it's not something like happens. But even if you did, the arm isn't going to grow into a tentacle all of a sudden. It's not going to become something different than what it was. Whereas the plants, they seem to become something different when they're combined. I mean, if you look at roses, you can take you can take red roses, roses. You take one branch from one and you put it on the other, and then you'll start getting different color roses other than white or red.
So that's where our
I just
different
want to
kind of
say I
cows came
appreciate
from. It's
your
the same exact
perspective.
thing.
Sorry about that. I just wanted to tell Arian that I appreciate his perspective.
Yeah, not a problem. Yeah, so we go back to the cows, right? I think you can actually interbreed the cows, but I think like a lot of this stuff, so like if you interbreed, what is it, a horse and a donkey or a mule, one of those, you get the offspring is basically infertile. It can't reproduce. I'm assuming it's the same with cows because you also get the same effect with these combined plants. So let's take apples, for example. Apples in their natural state are a crab apple. And I'm sure everyone's had a crab apple. They taste like shit. Now, if you take an apple from the store and you take the seed and you plant it and the tree grows and 10 years later it produces fruit, these fruit are actually inedible. They become crab apples again. You can do this with oranges, you can do this with pears. Any seed that you get from the store will grow fruit that is inedible. The only way you can get a tree that produces edible fruit is if you go somewhere and get a cutting of it. So if you go to most of you in America, what, Walmart, Atwoods, Lowe's, Home Depot, where they have the trees sitting there, the orange trees, the pear trees, the cherry trees, those are actually cuttings from a mother tree from somewhere else. It's a tree that's not allowed to actually have fruit. They keep it in a certain state. Then they take a cutting from it, they put it in the pot for you, and they ship it off to Walmart, and then you go buy your fruit tree.
Indeed.
So the majority of what you get in a grocery store isn't actually real. It's all just made up bullshit.
And just going back to the raw milk subject and pasteurized milk, just for everyone's information, if you consume pasteurized milk, that is to say, milk that's been superheated and stripped of all its enzymes and nutrients, all you're really consuming is a liquid with lactase, which is sugar. So basically sugar water. So it's no wonder that people are intolerant to a liquid that is purely sugar.
Yep.
I agree. My grandpa worked at a milk plant, and he told me that they basically destroy the milk and then add 3 syrups to the milk to make it taste good.
Yep.
So you're basically drinking like soda.
Yeah, it's sugar water. That's what I call it. Yeah. So there, my recollection on this is somewhat sketchy because I researched it a long time ago. But there are certain enzymes that do get destroyed when they pasteurize, i.e., superheat the milk, and those enzymes help you assimilate the lactose. That's already inherently in that milk. So that's why, people can't really tolerate that. Certain people. That's not to say everyone.
I mean, but why is it drawn across ethnic boundaries though? Like, aren't like more Asian people lactose intolerant than white people, for example?
I'm not sure.
No. Remember, all humans are the same, regardless of what we look like. So slant eyes, round eyes, red skin, green skin, it doesn't fucking matter. Well, not green skin. The green skin people actually
yeah.
are lactose intolerant.
You can say that we're all the same, but I mean, it's clearly true that a lot of Asian people are allergic to alcohol, for example, whereas a lot of white people are not allergic to alcohol. There's really something different going on.
Actually, surprise, surprise, pretty much everyone is allergic to alcohol. It's just that most people go through a process where they have things removed as they're growing up. So when they get to the point where they drink alcohol, they don't notice as much. So the majority of the Americans have had their tonsils removed, which is your first defense against alcohol poisoning. But since most people don't have it, they just poison themselves all day.
I don't think those statistics are true anymore. Like the tonsillectomies have gone way, way, way down in the past 2 or 3 decades.
Not where we are.
True, I'll say for.
Oh, and if you think about the
United States.
pasteurization thing, I'm just going to jump quickly back. So we've established like pasteurization is terrible, and if you think of what they tell pregnant women, they're not supposed to eat anything or drink anything that hasn't been pasteurized.
Yeah. There could be an agenda behind that. There could be.
No way. People don't have agendas.
They're also not supposed to eat sushi.
Oh yeah, isn't the mercury in the fish is supposed to kill them? That's right.
Yeah.
Wait.
Bacteria.
You can't show me a mercury.
You can't show me a globe. Ooh.
I'm so cooked right now. I have no idea what's going on.
Cooked in what sense?
Olive oil.
No. I mean, it could be an olive oil. I have no idea. I don't know. I popped out to go listen to what was going on in Nathan Oakley's Discord server. they were having like a completely different conversation as soon as I joined. They like completely changed topics and direct their focus on me, and they went on some crazy tangent about how like Interstellar is a documentary or something, the movie made by Christopher Nolan. And it was like a whole, I don't even know, and then it like ventured off into, I don't know if the guy was on drugs or like high, I have no idea. But then there's some other guy that joined who didn't like claim a model. He didn't say that the earth was globe or flat. He just said that he was a Christian. He believes the Bible. And then they just like completely took their focus off me and started attacking this other guy because he wouldn't pick a side. And I'm just like so like fried right now. It was wild. I know none of you guys probably care, but that was my last half hour.
But that was a
We're just
long
over here
half hour.
we're looking for a vitamin C. Can't find a vitamin C yet.
I need more than vitamin C. I think what I really need is sleep. I should go to sleep because it's 12:30 in the morning. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. You guys have a good night. I'll talk to you later.
Freezing out dreams about Nathan Oakley now.
I wonder if he thought he was coming over here and this was like a safe space or something.
I mean, it is safe from Nathan Oakley, so I am thankful for that.
Who is that guy? I'm not actually super familiar.
The angriest of the.
Well, he used to not be like that. You know, if the flat earthers were allowed to make their arguments without being interrupted, he would still be docile Nathan Oakley like he was in the beginning.
He's a flat earther, right?
Yeah, Nathan Oakley was better.
He's like
He used
that with
to be
other
docile.
authors too, though.
I mean, it makes sense why someone's attitude would change in this arena because basically you have a bunch of yahoos who, well, they just want to argue over nothing.
Hmm.
Anything to start a fight.
Indeed.
Someone was in here talking about yak meat the other day. I thought that sounded pretty good. You guys ever try that stuff?
That does sound good. No, I have not.
His reasoning was that it's like a cow, so it's like super meaty, but it hasn't been, well, I don't know, like vaccinated or GMO'd or whatever.
Sounds
Yeah.
good.
Isn't that what the Mongols eat, right? The Mongols eat yaks, I think.
Yeah. And like Tibet.
I think I also heard the Mongols primarily live off of fermented dairy.
Interesting.
That's funny because there was also a guy in here saying eating fermented raw milk cheese cures cancer or gets rid of your vaccines or something.
Would you put fermented stuff in the natural or unnatural category?
Hmm.
It's a good question. Well, it appears to be somewhat natural because I'm sure the process derived from them letting milk sit and then it fermented.
Yeah, it's a natural process that it does undergo. That fungal fermentation. You know, I'll tell you what's
Yeah, see,
really
so
good. Sorry, go
You
ahead.
wouldn't want to ferment
go
frickin'
ahead.
some GMO crap.
No,
You
you
know?
wouldn't. What's
No,
really good
definitely
is
not.
horse liver, raw horse liver. My recommendation to any of those that are a little bit squeamish when it comes to trying organ foods.
Pig tongue's pretty good.
Yep, it's great too.
Not I haven't had it fermented, but
Neither.
boiled with a pinch of salt.
Now, see, the other interesting thing about the Mongols is they've also never been conquered.
It's because nobody wants to eat their yaks.
Well, it's not to say that people haven't tried. That's the thing.
I want to eat their yaks.
Fermented yak is just like fermented puke, right?
Upchuck, I think, is the term you're looking for.
Also, another good slice of meat is kangaroo tail.
A lot of meat on the kangaroo too.
What was that?
The African Americans love the oxtails. Oxtails are used in a lot of Southern cooking.
That's fucking good.
I said kangaroo tail.
I mean, I got to correct you. I don't think they're African Americans. I think they're just Black Americans.
Yeah, they were already here. They didn't get brought over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, because there's a lot of that the Olmecs or whatever. I mean,
let's just call them darkies. That's a better slang, right?
Hey, how do you guys feel about
actually,
dinosaurs?
Fake news. They're actually dragons.
Dinosaurs are actually dragons?
Yeah, they're actually dragons.
Based. All of them?
Yeah, all of them.
Every dinosaur fossil is actually a dragon fossil?
Yes. So everything that they claim is a dinosaur fossil. So first of all, the ones that you see in the museum aren't real. They're some kind of plaster cast. They'll never show you the real bones, but all of the real giant bones that they found, well, I wouldn't say they're all dragon, but they're all related to Genesis 6, basically the Nephilim. So you have these big giant weird things coming about, and that's what people are finding.
Interesting. Wild. So there's Nephilim. I thought the Nephilim were like fallen angels.
Well, so the Nephilim were from the sons of God, which is Yahweh. So the sons of Yahweh came down and intermingled with women. So to me, that's an indication that these angels were actually human-like, because as we were talking about before, I don't know who all was in here, but you can crossbreed species that are similar, but not too unsimilar, and they will produce something, but I don't know if that offspring will actually be able to produce anything. So you have like a sterilized something. So these angels that we call them, which are just probably just lizard beings, they came down, they had sex with human women, and since they're also humanoid, well, they had offspring.
So you think they were humanoid lizardoids?
Yeah. So and the Bible actually tells us. So in Genesis 1, well, not I'll just go to it real quick so I can read you the scripture. So we got Genesis 3, right? Now the serpent was more subtle than any other wild creature that the Lord God had made. Now it's interesting because the serpent is actually setting themselves up with this one little sentence as them being the best, basically. Now, so the serpent deceived Eve, right? He made her eat of the apple. Now, when it comes to the punishment, here we go. It's 3:14. It says, "The Lord God said to the serpent, because you have done this, cursed are you above all cattle, above all wild animals. Upon your belly you shall go, Now, if the serpent was already on its belly, telling it that it's going to go on its belly isn't really a punishment. But if it had legs before and now it's going to go on its belly, that's a punishment. Now, not only that, he's told that, and dust you shall eat all the days of your life. Now, dust is what man is made from. So,
So that's a reference to eating men,
it appears to
eating
be
humans?
because, yeah, what else is because it says that Adam was made from the dust. It also tells him that